Hello, class. For today, we're going to be learning about rates. Now, I'm sure you guys already know what we mean by rates. Um, the most general and simple definition is that rate involves two quantities and it is usually expressed as one quantity per unit of another quantity. For example, when we talk about speed, we can talk about meters per second. Or we can also use other units too, like kilometers per hour. That's something you'll probably notice when you're driving a car or riding on a car. For typing, you've probably heard of words per minute. Okay? For exchange rates, you've probably heard of Hong Kong dollars per Chinese yuan. For interest rates, that may be something you never heard about. Interest rates are the amount of money that you can earn when you deposit money in a bank. So interest rates are usually expressed as a percentage per annum. Annum is another word for year. So as you can see, rates involve two different units, okay, that are compared to one another. Okay, usually something per something. Okay. Now our learning objectives today are to calculate basic rates such as speed or typing words per minute. We're going to learn to calculate simple interest. Okay, what happens when you borrow or deposit money in the bank? How much interest can you earn if you're depositing money? How much interest do you owe if you're borrowing money? Okay, we're going to make exchange rate calculations. Okay, so figuring out how much Chinese RMB you can get with a certain amount of Hong Kong dollars and vice versa. We're going to calculate differences in rates. Okay, what if we had two people who worked at different speeds? How do we calculate the difference? Okay, and we'll learn to convert one rate to another. So for example, we can learn to convert meters per second to kilometers per hour or vice versa. Okay, example 1. Daniel laughs 21 times in 3 minutes. Find his rate of laughing in laughs per minute. So to calculate this, we have to write the number of laughs as the numerator. Okay, and the time as the denominator. 3 minutes. Okay, so what we find is we get a simple division problem here. 21 over 3, that's simply 7. So the answer would be 7 laughs per minute. Okay, which can also be expressed as a fraction. But it would be better if you expressed it this way instead. Okay, so for practice, I'd like everyone to try page 11. Try question number 12. Okay, example 2. We see the value of 1 Chinese yuan is equal to 1.2 Hong Kong dollars. If that's the case, if that's the exchange rate, what is the value of 1,500 Chinese yuan in Hong Kong dollars? And what is the value of 1,500 Hong Kong dollars in Chinese yuan? Okay, let's do A first. Okay, so we know that you need 1.2 Hong Kong dollars, okay, for 1 Chinese yuan. And we have 1,500 Chinese yuan. Okay, so we simply multiply these two figures here, okay, because we have Chinese yuan as the denominator here. Okay, we can cross that out. We multiply the two numbers and we see that our answer is 1,800 Hong Kong dollars. Okay, now for B, it would be the other way around because the exchange rate is 1 Chinese yuan to 1.2 Hong Kong dollars. Okay, so we multiply that by 1,500. Okay, and we find that our answer should be, let's Let's do some simple division here. Okay. We add a 0, get rid of the decimal place. 1, 12, 30, 5, 0. So 1,500 Hong Kong dollars equals 1,250 Chinese yuan. Okay. So we know that the exchange rate of 1 Chinese yuan to 1.2 Hong Kong dollars. Okay. So if it's Chinese yuan in this case, and we want to convert to Hong Kong dollars, we will multiply it by 1.2. Okay. Because we know that, of course, intuitively we know what Chinese yuan is worth more than Hong Kong dollars, so we would multiply this by the bigger number, not 1. Okay? And since we know Hong Kong dollars are worth less than Chinese yuan, intuitively we should know that we should divide it instead of multiplying it, because multiplying it will give you a bigger number, and that does not make sense because Hong Kong dollars are worth less than Chinese yuan. All right, so for practice, I'd like you to try to answer question number 13 on page 14. Page 14, try it, number 13. Okay, for question number 3, we have an example related to interest rates. Now, these questions are done a little bit differently. Let's read through the problem. Mr. Fong deposits $5,500 in a bank for 4 years. The interest rate is 4.5% per annum. Remember, annum means year. Find the total interest rate earned after 4 years. Okay? So what this means is that Mr. Fong gets 4.5% of $5,500 at the end of each year for keeping that money in the bank. Okay, so how do we calculate the total amount of interest earned after 4 years? Okay, in this case, we get the $5,500. This is known as the principal. We multiply it by the interest rate. Okay, so 4.5%. If we write that in decimal form, remember it's 0.045, as you learned before, okay? Because 100% would be 1. Okay? So 4.5% would be 0.045. Then that gives you your interest that Mr. Fong will earn in 1 year. Now, how much will you earn after 4 years? Very simple. We just multiplied it by 4 because this is the interest per year. So after 4 years, it will be 4 times that. Okay? So our answer is, we take out our trusty calculator. So 4 times 0.045 times 5,500. So our answer is 990. Okay? So Mr. Fong will earn $990 in interest after 4 years. Okay. All right, so for practice, I'd like you to try page 14, okay, and to try it question number 14. Example 4 requires converting one rate to another. Convert 50 kilometers an hour into meters per second. Okay. Now, how we do that is that we have to find out how many meters there are in a kilometer and how many seconds there are in an hour. Okay. Then we can convert this rate into this rate. Now, kilometers an hour can be expressed as a fraction. Okay. Kilometers an hour is simply how many kilometers per hour. Kilometers over 1 hour. Okay. Now, we have the rate right here. It's 50 kilometers an hour. We need to find out how many meters there are in a kilometer and how many seconds there are in an hour. So we know that there's 1,000 meters in a kilometer and 3,600 seconds in an hour. 60 minutes in an hour, 60 seconds in a minute. 60 times 60 is 3,600. So this is just the same as kilometers an hour. 1,000 meters over 3,600 seconds is the same as 1 kilometer over 1 hour. So because there's 50 of that, it's 50 times that, we just multiply 50 by this rate here. Okay? So if we take out our calculator, we find that 50 times 1,000 divided by 3,600 gives us 13.88 meters per second. Okay. So I'd like everyone to try practicing converting 2 kilograms per dollar. Let's say you're buying meat, pork maybe. It costs 2 kilograms per dollar, per US dollar maybe. Convert that to pounds per cents. Okay? So 1 kilogram is 2.2 pounds. And of course, there are 100 cents in $1. Okay? So how you convert 2 kilograms per dollar to pounds per cents. Okay, for our last example, I'd like to use the one straight from the textbook, page 15. Okay. John and Ajit are employed to pack boxes of goods in a factory. The packing rate of John is twice as fast as that of Ajit. John and Ajit can pack 108 boxes in 4 hours together. Find Ajit's packing rate in boxes per hour. Okay. So we need to solve this by using variables. Okay. We let x be the boxes per hour, that's Ajit's packing rate. So his rate times 4 hours, 4 in this case, 4 representing 4 hours, would represent the number of boxes that could pack in those 4 hours. Okay. Now, we know that John's rate is twice as fast, so that would be 2x. If x is Ajit's packing rate, then John's packing rate, which is twice as fast, would be 2x. Okay, and 2x is also multiplied by 4 because he is also working for 4 hours. So we solve for x from this equation, and we can find that x equals 9. So Ajit's packing rate is 9 boxes per hour. Okay, what would John's packing rate be? Okay? So why don't you stop and think what John's packing rate would be? Okay, if Ajit's packing rate is 9 boxes per hour, then John's would be 2x. Okay, twice as much, 18 boxes per hour. Okay, we can also verify by substituting. Okay, if we substitute 9 into x, we'll find that 4 times 9 is 36. Okay, plus 4 times 2 times 9, 72. 36 plus 72 would be 108. So we know that our answer is correct here. Okay? Now, for our final practice question, I'd like everyone to try practice question 16. Try it 16 on page 15.